Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint a lighthouse in a stormy sea setting. We're going to have show you step by step how to do it from start to finish. This is our monthly bonus video for our Patreon folks. So thank you to those who are watching today. I've got my husband Mark with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's managing chat for our live show. So if you've got questions, you can ask those and I'll try to answer them. Let's get started. So this is our reference photo. I really like the, as soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, we got to paint that. I'm going to be using a Pro Belgian Linen canvas panel. This is the 9 by 12 inch size. You can really size it up to whatever size works for you though. Let me go over the brushes really quick here. Just going to be using a few brushes. I think we'll need a small, either angle or flat. These are the 1/4 inch and 3/8 inch VelvetTouch from Princeton for the lighthouse and some of the details there. Then for the clouds and for the sky and some of the waves, we'll have a few of our like scrubber brushes and fan brush here. This is the 10-aught 3/8 inch Select. And these are the 3/8 inch and 1/4 inch Willow's blender from VelvetTouch. These are the Select. And then I've got a few very small detailed liners for some of the windows and things on the lighthouse. There's lots of little details on there. So I've got a 18-aught short liner, a 5-aught spotter, and a number 1 round. And if you don't have these exact brushes, just use what you've got that's close. And then I've got a number 2 round and a number 8 bright for some of the larger background areas. Let me go over our colors really quick. Got Zinc White, Titanium White, Unbleached Titanium, Quinacridone Magenta, Cadmium Red Light, Cadmium Yellow Medium, Yellow Oxide, Phthalo Blue Green Shade, Ultramarine Blue, Dioxazine Purple, Burnt Sienna, and Burnt Umber. We may not use all of these colors, but I just kind of put out the ones that I thought I might need. And this one is the glazing liquid that I use, the golden acrylic glazing liquid for some of the blending. All right, let's go over our drawing really quick. And there's really not a lot of drawing here at first. We're just going to kind of put in our basic horizon line. And it's going to be just above halfway. So if this is halfway, it's about an inch below halfway. I'm going to come down just a little bit so I can put my chalk line in there and just do a horizon line for our ocean. And then our lighthouse is going to be setting right in here, right on the 3rd. So if you kind of figure out where your 3rd is, right here, mark right there, then kind of on either side, you're going to have this little rock outcropping that it's coming up on. Like that. And then the wave is coming like this, kind of zigzagging, coming up to the horizon line there, and then back down, and you're seeing part of it cresting right here, and you're seeing another part kind of right out this way. And then another smaller wave right there. And that's pretty much all the drawing we're going to do. There's not a whole lot of detail here. And then the clouds are going to have some, I don't know if you're even going to need to draw that in. Okay, I think that's good enough. We'll just kind of fix it as we go. How are you doing today, hon?
I'm okay, I guess.
Hanging in there?
What are you fishing for there?
I got, there's a little blue, there we go. Blue mustache. Oh, it broke in half.
She's fishing in her rinse water there or something. I think I got all my technical difficulties figured out over here.
Good. Yeah, you were having problems this morning. Alrighty, let me see. I think I'm going to start with the blue. There's like a section here that is lighter blue peeking through here and down in here. So I think I'm going to start by just kind of laying in some blue And then we'll kind of start slowly working towards the darker colors. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some white, a good amount of white. Bring it over here. I'm going to grab a little bit of the phthalo blue, and I mean a tiny, tiny bit of it. And then a little bit of burnt sienna. That'll create that kind of, this has all got kind of a yellowish cast, so we're going to kind of do everything in sort of sepia tones. Not sure exactly how you're supposed to say that. I'm going to set that in. That's perfect. Kind of just a smoky gray blue. Not a lot of burnt sienna in there. The burnt sienna kind of tends to make the phthalo blue more of a teal color. So I don't want it super teal. Just a little bit in there to cut the color and dull it a little bit. All right, so now let's see. I think I want to add a little bit of burnt umber. Start laying in some of that. Oh yeah, that's good. Keeping it fairly soft here at first. You're just slurping over there now.
Yep. I have about 3 inches of this chair. And the rest of it is
cashmere.
Taken up by cashmere. Yep. I'm sitting on the edge.
Are you really?
Yep.
She's sitting behind you?
Yep.
So she got up there when you got up and...
Mm-hmm. Like, this is mine. Thank you.
And you're not going to kick her. I'm not as nice as you. I kick her off when she does that to me.
Well, somebody's got to be the good guy.
That may be why she likes you more. All right, getting a little bit of purple now. Ooh, and then some more of that burnt umber. And a little bit more of that phthalo blue. I don't want it to be pink, so get more of that burnt umber there to tone that down. Let's grab ultramarine. Okay, so this is ultramarine. It did have a little phthalo blue, but I'm going to use more ultramarine in it here. Ultramarine and burnt umber, which makes that gray, and then we added a little bit of purple to make it more just slightly purpley. Yeah, that's good. Good color. And I'm kind of trying to softly blend these edges a little bit. Just this blue that I first put down is pretty much dry now, but I don't want hard lines in there, so you can use your glazing liquid a little bit if you need to kind of touch over those edges just to kind of blend this in. But mainly we're just trying to get this down, get some color down here to start with. It's darkest up in this corner and this corner up here. So I'm just going to lay down all that color off my brush and blend it in. If I can get it kind of softly blended into that. There we go.
Man, we're almost done.
This is definitely going to be one of those that looks worse than, before it looks better. Let me make sure that I leave my white spot in there. Now that I'm realizing I did that again, I covered it up. Just start putting that back in there. I meant to do that. A white spot back in there. And just kind of lay the color down where you want it brightest. And then gently kind of pull it out around the edges and try not to touch that center part so that it stays pretty dark or bright or whatever. Okay. That's good.
just saw this picture of a young couple standing in front of a lighthouse.
Ooh. Go get it. Mark's family all lives up in New England area, so we look at that. Oh, we're so cute. I love it.
At least one of us looked cute. You looked okay.
I looked okay. All right, grabbing some yellow. Gonna get some more of that ultramarine blue. That'll make kind of a greenish color, which there's a lot of green in the, yeah, I guess because everything's kind of tinted yellow with the blue sky and everything, it just kind of naturally makes it look sort of semi-green. So I'm going to go ahead and go down here with this color. It's not super green though, just a little bit. Yellow oxide, little tiny bit of burnt umber, and white, lots of white. This is unbleached titanium in here too. I'm just going to work it along that horizon line. And here I don't have to worry too much about blending it at this point. I'm just trying to get the color down so we have a color underneath as we're working on our clouds. Okay, so that's good enough. Doesn't look like much, but we'll get it there. All right, let's work on getting our horizon in. I'm going to grab burnt sienna, phthalo blue, create that deep green teal color. I'm going to use that under here. It's really kind of an ugly color. And a lot of the sea in this picture, as I was noticing, is very kind of dull. So you can brighten it up if you want, you know, if you don't want it this kind of olive gray color. You could always make it a little bit more blue if you want. But just go ahead and lay down this color, get it kind of filled in there. Get a little bit more of that burnt sienna. And this area is a little bit more reddish brown. And you can use your ruler if you want to help you get a straight line there. I'm not putting in the rocks yet, but I'm going to kind of put in the ocean in front there. Get a little bit more blue. And you notice I'm kind of putting this on side to side so that any kind of streaks are going to look like they're part of the wave. Okay, so this kind of comes down this way. And then a lot more of this green down in here. This part comes up this way, curves up right here where it's kind of crashing over. I'm going to put a little bit of the white in here just so I know kind of where it is. And then there's a little bit of like greenish yellow right in here. Just on that part of the wave right there. Okay. Doesn't look all that straight. Let me see if I can get that more straight. There we go. You always want to make sure that your horizon line is perfectly straight with seascapes, ocean paintings, really any type of water where you're seeing it from a distance. The only time you would have kind of a wavy horizon line with water is if you were like down in the water and you were seeing it and you were seeing the waves right at eye level. But if you're looking at it at any kind of distance, you're going to see a straight, perfectly straight line. Mark's just sitting here creepily staring at me. I look over at him. He's just like sitting back with his arms crossed. Just
I got my beard fluffed out.
I know he's a little creepy.
I'm trying to annoy Cashmere enough to make her to get up.
Good luck with that.
It's not working.
No. She knows a good thing when she's found it. She's happy as can be.
So we got about 64 with us right now.
Nice.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's good for a Patreon video. We usually have a smaller crew watching. More.
My job is so much easier during Patreon shows.
I bet. I bet. Okay, I'm going to come just above here with this gray that I've mixed, and this is Ultramarine Blue plus burnt umber, and then light Unbleached Titanium. And this top part curves up just a little bit, so it's not straight across, it's kind of curved up. Comes just above the horizon line and then does a gradual kind of curve upward right here. Just gonna it's pretty close to the same color as the ocean down here at the bottom, so I'm not too worried. We'll put on our highlights here in a minute on that part, but I just wanted to get kind of a base color in there. Looks pretty good. It might not be wide enough. Might need to make it a little bit bigger.
Yeah, it looks like it needs to be about 1/4 to 1/2 inch finger wider.
Mm-hmm. I think you're messing with me.
Moi?
Would you do that? Never.
No, not me.
Never.
I am so innocent. I'm just awfully helpful over here.
Okay, so yeah, this definitely, this needs to come up right there and there. It kind of curved down where it touched the thing. So we'll fix that when we do our clouds. I don't want to mess with it right now. But we'll fix our horizon line there. It's still not quite square. All right, so now this is dry, mostly. And yeah. I'm going to do some of the darker areas with the larger brush, and then we'll do some of the more detailed areas in here with the white with the smaller brushes. So I want to, let's go ahead and put in some of the glow around the sun. So I'm going to get some of the white and some of the yellow, cadmium yellow. Looks good. Mix those two together. wipe most of it off. And then I'm just going to come down here around the sun and add this glow.
The big yellow one's the sun.
It's good. That's from Brian Regan, if you don't know the reference. He's one of our favorite comedians. That's awesome. Okay, and then I'm going to add a little bit of the Cadmium Red Light. So it's more orangey. If you don't have Cadmium Red Light, just use, you could use a little Quinacridone Magenta mixed with your yellow. Just want a little orangey glow here. I'm going to use the white and just kind of tap off sort of some cloud shapes. Got a piece of brush hair there. Okay. Use a little bit of the glazing liquid just to make it go on a little bit smoother. There we go.
That's what I'm dealing with.
What?
That's what I'm dealing with.
This is behind Mark. That's pretty good. She doesn't look very comfortable. I think you need to lean back harder. So, let me get the hint.
Okay, you were using the Deerfoot Stippler there?
Yes. Deerfoot Stippler. I'm trying to clean it out here and get it dry as I can because I don't want it to get... It gets kind of floppy when it gets too wet. All right, so that's pretty good. And let's do the dark area up here. So I'm going to use purple and ultramarine blue and burnt umber. See if we can get it dark. And more ultramarine. There we go, just a touch of purple. I'm just trying to find the right kind of blue. Let's use a little bit of the phthalo blue, see if that helps us. And I probably could have just used black here. It might have been easier just to use a little bit of black in with my phthalo blue, make a Prussian blue. That'll work though. This works. So it's a little bit of ultramarine and phthalo, just a touch of phthalo blue, and then a tiny bit of purple and burnt umber.
Okay, what people didn't see there is that when you stopped mixing it on your palette, you rubbed it off on your paper towel.
Yeah, most of it's off on the paper towel here. So I took most of it off. Thank you for mentioning that.
Now I have to get a paper towel cam.
We do. We're going to really need a better palette cam that shows the paper towel work and the water bottle or the water jug because it gets used a lot.
I'll zoom out on the side cam. Try to get that action.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get it in there. Okay, well, this is adding a little bit of glazing liquid, but I don't know if it's doing what I want it to do. Okay. Grab a little bit more, a little bit darker color here. And it's definitely going to look worse before it looks better. So just kind of know that going in, that it's not going to look all that great when we first start this. This is definitely, clouds especially, I don't know why, but unless you're doing a really simplified like cloud version, if you've seen some of my, well, I did one lesson, I think it was in the Art Taking Flight group, the Patreon group, where we did storm clouds, and it really took like almost 3 weeks of working on them before they started looking good, you know, because these kind of clouds that are very involved, you know, with multiple layers and lots of contrast, can be harder to get to look good. It just takes lots of layers to get them there. All right, so that's kind of where we want it to be, I think. So we'll switch to a smaller brush now. This is the 3/8" Willow's blender. I'm going to use the Zinc White and a little bit of the Phthalo Blue. And let's see what this looks like over the top of this. I'm not sure if it's dry enough yet.
Got a question for you.
Okay.
Somebody said that when they're trying to mix paints with a brush, it seemed to get really gobbed up all up inside the bristles and they waste it. Do you have any tips?
I would use a palette knife then. It does that to me too. So it's really not as efficient using a brush to, if you know you're going to be mixing a lot of a color, it's better to do it with the palette knife than the brush. Really, it's kind of a bad habit of mine. So, but yeah, that's pretty normal.
So you're kind of like the bad girl of painting.
I am. Well, I mean,
you're kind of edgy that way.
Yeah. I didn't have palette knives for a long time. I just didn't even use them at all. So this is white. Just kind of coming up over the edges of these dark gray clouds now, and kind of trying to work on these edges, the borders between the colors, and having this little bit of white on here. Scrubbing it in here. It's covering a little bit better than that Zinc White was. The Zinc White was just not quite doing it enough. But again, not using a lot on my brush here. It's very thinned out, and I need to be sure that I'm not scrubbing too much on an area that's trying to dry too. Okay. Let's see. So mixed up some phthalo blue with that yellow oxide there to get a green. Did you kick her off, I know?
Yeah, she kind of clogged me on the way down, so made me pay for it.
and a little bit of burnt sienna to make it kind of more olive colored. And then I'm going to use some of this dark gray mixed with it. Yeah, that looks good. So it's kind of this dark color, but just a little bit of green added in to it. I'm going to add a little bit of white. Actually, let's use this Unbleached Titanium because it'll be more neutral. And yeah, that looks good.
When you have a chance, can you center the painting a little more so I can zoom in closer?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Just trying to get these colors figured out in here. This guy is kind of a complex color scheme in this painting. Get some of this darker color right along that horizon line. And then we'll use some white to kind of just tap it all in and blend it together. I'm going right over the top of that color there. Let's use a little bit of ultramarine blue with this. Make it a little bit more blue. There we go. Darker purple over here. I'm just going to kind of dirty up this whole horizon line here. Okay. Use some glazing liquid, and I'm going to grab a little bit of this burnt sienna to add with this green right in here. It's this kind of brown cloud. You can see right there where it's starting to lift. That color was still drying under there. So I can lay it on kind of thickly. Get some white and kind of cut that color. It's a little too dark. But if you've got an area that's lifting like that, you can either leave it and come back to it, or you can, if you lay a really thick layer of paint on top of it, sometimes it'll make it stick. So, but now I do need to leave it because it will definitely lift off there if I continue to mess with it at this point. All right, let's get a little bit smaller brush and we'll start putting in some white clouds. Now I can grab this Zinc White and we'll see if this works over the top of some of this. Yeah, still not quite working. Let me use the white. I just need to blend off those edges. They're a little too harsh. And really, unbleached titanium plus white is probably closer to what I want. It's not quite pure white. But even if we do pure white, we can always go back in and glaze over the top of it. So I'm not too worried. I'd rather go in, you know, with too much contrast, a little bit too bright than not. It gives us options. All right, keeping on going here, just kind of tapping in these sort of basic cloud shapes. Looking pretty good. I definitely think I'm going to go back in and glaze in some deeper areas in these clouds here and there. But they're coming together pretty well. Okay.
So which brush are you using?
This is the 1/4 inch.
1/4 inch Willows?
Willow's blender now. I'm going to grab some of that gray blue there. Mix that in.
You know, we should have a game where we save all of your palette papers, and then
they
we
have
have
to
people
guess
try
which
to
one.
guess what video it came from.
It's actually probably a good idea. That's awesome.
We'll write on the back.
Yeah. That would be actually pretty fun. Okay. So I think I need to go with a little bit more of a golden tones here. Grab a little bit of the yellow and yellow oxide, cadmium yellow. Some white. All in through here, these clouds are all kind of yellowish. Oh yeah, okay. So it's starting to sort of semi come together now. Starting to go, okay. I can kind of see where it's going. Go a little bit more burnt sienna here with this. I grabbed a little bit of the darker color too. When I'm saying darker color, I mean this one. It's kind of our base darker color, you know. Just want to make sure that I'm not going too fast here. You guys are following me. But all the tones are getting kind of more of that brownish orangey color as we get closer to the sun. So that's where we're using these. And then farther out, they're more of the blues and purples. So a little bit more of that burnt sienna. Starting to get there. This is definitely too bright. use some of this yellow over here that we were using down here and mix it with a little bit of that burnt sienna color with my glazing liquid. I'm going to kind of glaze over. It's just a little bit. It's still a little bit wet, so just be careful. Okay, and now let's grab some of that Zinc White, mix that with this. It's got a little bit of that phthalo blue down in here that we pre-mixed before. And let's go up in here. Now we're going over that dark color, and it's going to be nice and soft and transparent. And I'm just kind of, I'm not even really tapping, I'm just kind of doing little circular motions to kind of scrub this color in. It's really working well. Kind of. So that burnt sienna down here with that phthalo blue up here is going to create that teal color that we started with in our sky. And you could totally simplify this too. You don't have to do all these layers. I mean, you could just do something a little bit more straightforward. I'm trying to think of another video we've done that's got, well, we've got a lot of sunset skies, you know, in a lot of the videos. So I think you could probably simplify this pretty easily if you don't want to do all these steps with it. All right, this is yellow oxide with the zinc white. I'm going to get a little bit of the titanium white right in here, mixed with it. Okay. Definitely going to glaze over this whole area with more of the orangey color. Let's get some white, and right in here there is kind of a line of clouds that leads into there. And really, I think it's the bottom of this cloud, this dark cloud, is opening up, and you're seeing the blue sky right here. More of that brownish. A little bit of white. And the key with clouds is just to slowly build your layers. Don't try to cover with a thick layer of paint. So it's all about kind of keeping it subtle and soft and slowly working these layer upon layer of color. It can be kind of frustrating because it takes a long time for it to start working. So you kind of get like, I don't think this is right. And you might tend to just go in with a, you know, with a really heavy layer of paint. And that's what, it's that heavy layer of paint that makes it not really work usually. So So
what are some tips for simplifying the clouds?
I think if you just did kind of this sort of this color to start with here, with a little bit of the lighter blue and then maybe darker blue around the outside, and then just went in with a little bit of white over the top, you could probably get away with just doing that, and then not do the layer, the layering that we're doing here. Does that make sense? Like doing a more finished first layer, and then you don't have to worry about going back over. This is white. I'm going a little bit more heavy with this. I want to get it right into the sun. And I'm not really worried too much about the color at this point. I'm trying to get the color down, but if we're a little bit off on the color, that's not as important as just getting our values right, getting kind of our basic shapes in. Because we can always go back in and kind of glaze over this and add, change the colors up. So, which is probably what we'll do towards the end, once the base layers have dried. Okay, get some of this darker color here. And working on top. This white layer is wet, so there's going to blend. So I went over the top of the dark and then grabbed some of the dark and worked it back into on top of the white while it was wet, and it kind of blended the two together, softened them up. Right there. Okay, so I think that's starting to look good. Most of this is going to be covered up by our lighthouse, so I'm not too concerned with that, but I do want to get this right before we put our lighthouse in so that we don't have to paint around it later. All right, let me see. Grab some more white. A little bit of phthalo blue. A little bit of burnt sienna. Making that teal color. Grabbing more white here, softening it up. Okay. Wiping most of it off once I find the right color. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to do what we did over here. Grab some of this darker color. If I can find some that's still wet. There we go. Wipe most of it off my brush, but I'm going to go back over this area here that I just put on. This is still wet. Scrub it on to blend those two together and soften it up even more. There we go. All right, so now you're seeing, I think, hopefully, definitely starting to come together more. This area definitely needs work right up in here. Colors are not quite right. And I'm not sure if it's dry enough to mess with it yet. And grab some more white. Pick up a little bit of that greenish teal color with it. Go back up in here. A little bit brighter right there. I think we're getting closer. Sort of took out all my dark area over here, so I'm going to grab a little bit of this darker teal, add it back in, right in here. Grab a little bit of that dark from up here. Let's start with a little bit more white, get some of this yellowish color here. And we'll work on these clouds down here. Trying to work out these wet edges while they're still wet. So I just put down this layer right here. Soften up those edges. Yeah, that's looking good. Right. Grab some more white here. Okay, we're starting to get there. Starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel here. It can take a while, but we're starting to get there. Just almost. Grab some of that orangey color. Use it in here. Let's grab some of this green. Use it down here. This is the green that we used over there.
What's interesting to me is that at this point, the video could go either seascape or landscape.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You know, with the colors that you have on the bottom part, you can
Right.
easily turn that into some kind of a landscape.
That's true.
It's like an all-purpose.
Mm-hmm.
They would like to know, would they be able to use a small filbert brush to get the same?
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm. Definitely, especially if it was a little scruffy. I have a filbert that I used to use that was an older filbert that was a little bit, fuzzy, and it worked really well for this kind of thing. Okay, so mixing up some of that orange from the burnt sienna, from the cadmium yellow and cadmium cadmium red and yellow oxide. And I'm going to kind of run it. It's got these kind of streaks through it, so I'm just going to kind of see if I can get away with just doing it like this. I think that's working. Are you brushing the cat over there?
Mm-hmm.
I can see you're working hard today, honey. Obviously, the chat is not keeping you on your toes.
They're very rowdy.
I'm sure. Okay, a little bit of it down here. That may have been too much, but we'll see. Kind of just glazing here, like a light layer. Use some white here. Let's use some of the zinc white now. I picked up a little bit of this titanium white too. It's got a little bit of both. All right. Get some of that teal color. There we go. So it's mixing with the whites. It's going to soften that transition between that dark green and our white layers. Much better. Okay.
You've been staying on camera. I've been paying attention.
I think I have been. I don't know.
No, you have. I've
have?
been watching.
Okay. Good. Yeah, Mark and Cashmere. That's their little thing. He brushes the cat every morning. She has her little spot, and she comes walking up to him, sits, waits for the brush. She loves it. He uses two brushes. He holds one in his hand. I wish you could see this process going on over here because it's pretty funny. He holds one in his hand and she rubs her face on it. She's rubbing her face and then he's brushing her back the whole time. It's hilarious. Two.
If you want to do a mixed media, I got some material over
Cat
here for
hair.
you.
Right. Okay. I don't think so, but thank you. Using some of that zinc white, a little bit of the glazing liquid here. Okay. Get a little bit of this orangey yellow color up in here. She's purring so loud I can hear her. You guys are a mess. Grabbing some more of this phthalo blue. I'm going to mix it with this orangey color.
Maybe I can put the lapel mic on her.
That will really put people to sleep between her and purring and my voice. You could just have a channel of cat sounds. All right. Creating that dark gray with ultramarine and burnt umber. Using some glazing liquid. And we're just going to go in here and kind of glaze over some of these edges. Add some darker shadows here and there. Grab some white. There we go. All right, so we're almost there. Getting way closer. I keep saying that, don't I?
Almost there.
Almost there. Not quite almost there, but...
So pretty soon we'll just be almost there.
Right.
Okay.
One step closer to almost there. This is that phthalo blue green. Here.
So they want to know, what do you do with all these paintings?
They sit in my studio in the corner. I need to do something. I need to sell them. I haven't been selling any of these really. A few of them are in the gallery in Little Rock, but I'm thinking about putting them for sale on a website just dedicated to that. So talking to Wix, W-I-X, which is a website company right now about they contacted me to sponsor a video and they wanted me to set up a website, and I thought, well, it's probably a perfect pairing because I could set up the website to sell the paintings. So you might be seeing that in next month. We'll see if we can get all the details worked out, but that would be kind of fun. Set that up. And I'd also like to set up either on the website, on that website, or on Patreon somewhere, but an index of all of that. It's going to take forever. Just thinking about it is making me ill a little bit, but it's I think it would be super helpful just to have an index of all of the traceables, all of the bonus videos and everything. So, because since Patreon doesn't seem to be in any hurry to fix the issue with their filing system, and it's so difficult to find stuff on there for people. If I had a master list that was like, that had links to all of the posts, that would be helpful. You would think that Patreon would have something like that, but or even just a regular search engine where you could actually search something for by name, but no. All right, so that was burnt sienna mixed with a little bit of that gray that I had mixed up for over here. So burnt sienna mixed up with that right there. Let's put a little bit of it right in here. Bring this up a little bit. So this is where we had that hole in the canvas before, right in there, but it's dried now. So.
Oh, somebody in chat said don't start that list.
Why?
They're working on an Excel spreadsheet for you.
Really? Who is it?
Jillian Seymour.
Jillian, you're my hero. Oh my goodness.
Oh, you think you're better than me at Excel, huh, Jillian?
That would be awesome, Jillian.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's a throwdown. I see how this goes.
Stop, Mark.
Be like West Side Story Excel edition.
What is it?
I just can't dance, though. So hopefully there'll be no dancing.
Oh, man, that would be awesome.
She says that she's a library cataloger.
What?
So, yeah, she's bringing her A game.
Nice.
I'm not going to be able to keep up with that.
No. Okay, Jillian, we'll talk later. That would be fabulous. Okay, so we are almost there, I think.
Yeah, but can she brush a cat? That's what I want to know.
I don't care. All right. Just about done. Kind of a marathon here in the sky, but it's definitely worth it, I think. It's looking good. Getting some burnt sienna with the white here. Kind of zigzaggy. Let's mix up a little bit more of that dark gray with the Ultramarine Blue. Burnt Umber. What?
Somebody said that cashmere meows and their dog's head pops up.
Cat? Where's the cat? Where's the cat? Where's that cat? That's awesome. Okay. So definitely need some more of the dark down low here. Down in here. Along that horizon line. Let's get some glazing liquid. Just kind of glaze it on here. Let's get the Zinc White now. Right, grab some white. What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at?
And Jillian says that this is seriously looking like the middle of Australia. Just pop in a red desert
Really?
and no plants. And you're done.
That's great. Grabbing some of that darker color. Going right along that horizon line back in here. Really dark. No plants. I like that. I think that's why I like flowers so much. I kind of thought about it because we didn't have any flowers growing up in the desert. You know, it was kind of once a year in the spring we would get, or sometimes in the summer the cactus would bloom if you happen to have a cactus around. But in the spring there would be verbena that would bloom, and little buttercups and different flowers in the desert. They would just pop up out of nowhere, and it was like magic. And then they would last for, like a week and then be gone. And no more flowers for the rest of the year. So it was kind of, I don't know.
A little bit of rain and wow.
Yeah, exactly. And I just remember when we moved to here and there were wildflowers everywhere in the summertime. It was just like, what is this? What is this magic? I've never seen anything like this. It was awesome. Okay. Going up above with the white here. I'm just trying to kind of get, there's this kind of low layer of clouds sort of rolling in. Trying to get that in. And get some zinc white here. Do that kind of layer right there. And then do zinc white, kind of just random streaks through here. A little bit of white here. Trying to connect those streaks with some cloud there. Okay. Definitely looks kind of menacing, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. It's pretty accurate, though. I think that the picture has that kind of feeling. Storm surge. It's funny that I've only done lighthouses twice, and both times they've been in stormy seas. The other one was a lightning storm. This one's going to be a little bit more realistic than that one was, though. That one was a little bit more beginner friendly, I would think. This one's going to be a little bit more involved, I think. All right. Going in with this dark color right along that horizon line there. this area. It's a little bit more darkness right here. Grab that burnt sienna, some glazing liquid. Just gonna, I've still got that gray blue on my brush too, so it's kind of affecting it. Let's use a little bit of it on here. Okay, I'm going to let that dry, and then we're going to glaze it with some yellow. And I think, hopefully, if we did this right, it'll work. I'm going to use a little bit of the yellow with the white right now, just to create some clouds up here in the upper part right there. A little bit of yellow clouds streaking through right there. Okay. I think it's definitely got that hazy cloud look. Just having that bright white right there in the center of all this grayness really is the key, I think. You kind of set that white down, and then I'm just kind of fluffing around the outsides to kind of soften it up, blend it in. All right. And grab a little bit of white here and just do some little white clouds right in here. Just tapping it off so they're softer. And some streaks. All right, let's call that good for now. Good for now. One more thing I'm seeing right here, because I want to put my lighthouse right here. I want to have a little bit of bright right along the top right there, going through. How you doing, hun?
I'm doing great.
Good. Did you get yourself some snacks for the long haul?
I got some cookies over here.
Nice. Cookies. Oh, your cookies. Oh, okay. The one that you bought like 12 bags.
12 bags, please.
How many bags?
I wouldn't buy 12 bags of cookies.
How many bags did you buy?
Maybe 27.
Are you serious? I was just off camera the whole time. About 27 bags? Oh, I didn't know. I don't think I knew that.
Maybe.
I knew you bought bags of candy, but
I'm not admitting to any number.
That's awesome, honey. I got the cadmium yellow or cadmium red here, and lots of glazing liquid. I'm just going to glaze over that area there.
Let's see if I'll contact them, see if they want to sponsor us.
Who?
The cookie people.
Oh. Yeah. This might be too wet, so that's all right. That's working. Okay. Okay. All right, let's work on the ocean and then we'll come back up to this. So first thing I want to do is get my horizon line perfectly straight. So I'm going to go on top here, protect that area, hopefully not take the paint off. Go to the very top line. Using the T-square really helps because it gets you exactly straight. That seems really off. Let's try this side. No, it's about right. Okay. We are need to come way higher on this side. That can't be right. There, that's better. Well, it's... All right, I think I'm going to bring my... So I'm just trying to decide if bringing the clouds up is going to be better or bringing the ocean up is better, but I think I'll bring the ocean up.
So if somebody wants to go to a really big canvas to do this, what kind of a brush could they use for blending like you were doing? With just like a regular like paintbrush, big paintbrush?
Yeah, I would just use a brush like this, like a big brush like that, and it'll work really well doing these kind of, soft.
Kind of Bob Ross style.
Yeah, and this is a similar material to what's in the Deerfoot Stippler, If you have an angle brush, if you find an angled, like painter's brush, those would work for it really well. All right, so getting the Willow blue and burnt sienna here, the deep dark teal color. We're going to use it right here. Bring that ocean up. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Nice and dark. And then we just need to do it right along here too. This part is more of the burnt sienna color. So I'm going to add more of that. There we go. Now we have our straight horizon line. And it's darker too, which it needed to be. So this should be about as dark as this up here. So if we did it right. Just cashmere once back in. She's really working it. She's getting both hands involved. Both paws.
Hands.
I know. Oh, hello, Daddy. All right, using some white here. Yeah, I'm just going to put in some little very light, and I've switched to my 1/4 inch angle here. I'm going to put in some choppy brush strokes sideways, just a little bit. Very small. Grab some of that unbleached titanium. Gonna do kind of a line right here. It sort of goes at a diagonal. This actually might be a little bit higher. Like that. Okay. And then right here, grab a little bit of yellow. Right here. Mixing this yellow with that teal that's in the background. Right here, there's a wave that's coming up. Grab that unbleached titanium. Just tapping some of that unbleached titanium on the top there. Cashmere, be quiet. You messing with her?
Just looking at her. I don't want her on my lap. I just got most of the cat hair off me finally.
She's like, so you're saying there's a chance? Every time you look at her, she's like, yes, maybe. All right, let's grab the burnt umber here. I'm gonna put in my rock again. This goes pretty high up on the, close to the horizon line there. This wave probably needs to move out a little bit. Use some ultramarine blue with it to darken it up. mixing up some more of that teal color. And go over this and just move it over a little bit. And put this dark color back in here. Up against those rocks. Okay. Now a little bit of the yellow with that teal. There we go. There's the little wave. Put a little bit of this bit of white. Going a little bit darker with the teal right along the bottom here. There we go. Okay, let's use this unbleached titanium with our burnt umber. You doing okay, hon?
Doing good.
What are you doing?
Oh, checking on my dough.
Ah,
It's doing great.
Mark's making bread.
And the birds have returned to the feeder.
Oh yeah, I got some good video of the hawk trying to flush out a cardinal from the feeder area today. All right, so this is, I'm going to zoom in here. And actually, I think I'm going to switch to a smaller, to this brush here instead of the angle brush. We'll see. I don't know. I might go back to the angle. We'll see if it's better or not. Grab a little bit of yellow, ochre. Got burnt umber here. Plus the unbleached titanium. And I'm going to, yeah, this is working good. Gonna highlight some of these rocks. Just touch down. I've got that dark color underneath, so we can just leave little bits of the dark showing for kind of the cracks between the rock. We don't even really have to define them very much. These ones up here, you're only seeing kind of the very top of them, so they're small. And then these ones down here, as we get towards the bottom, we're seeing more of the rock, so there's bigger areas of coverage. This area over here is going to be darker, but we'll just glaze over it to darken it up. Then shadow. All right. Is she in there? She's messing with her paper now, isn't she? I can hear her there. Yep, I can hear her.
She's not right.
She is not. She's crazy. All right, grabbing some of that teal color. I'm just going to add some of that down here to the rocks closest to the bottom. Yeah. Right, and then get some cadmium yellow, white, and unbleached titanium here. Do the bright highlights on just a few of these rocks. All right, and then we can glaze over this and adjust any of that. I might darken up between the cracks a little bit, but it looks pretty good. Let's use this color on, let me define the top of this lighthouse thing here. A little bit of blue, burnt umber, and unbleached titanium. Mostly the burnt umber and unbleached titanium. Just a touch of blue. Okay. So coming up just above the horizon line on either side there. And just slightly curved upward. Okay, that's our pedestal. What you typing over there?
Bread.
Oh, nice. Giving out your bread recipe, your bread secrets.
Yeah. Really not mine. I mean, they're all out there on the intraweb.
Intraweb.
Mm-hmm. Be quiet. I'm not talking to you. Shh.
Okay, going back in with this darker teal here. Just kind of defining out some of those borders. It's glazing underneath each one of these rocks. Just a little bit. How long have we gone so far? Oh, almost 2 hours.
1 hour.
1 hour.
40 minutes.
You better get cracking on the lighthouse.
Yeah, babe. Come on.
Okay, just kind of glazing over that area there. A little bit darker. I'm going to use this. This got the highlight color for my rocks. Build a little bit of Unbleached Titanium. And I don't think I'm going to try to put in the bricks. It's just too small of an area. So if you want to go back in and do that, by all means do it. But I think I'm just going to try to highlight that top ridge of bricks there and then just kind of dry brush along that bottom there. And then I'm going to get some of this burnt umber with some glazing liquid. And just on this side, kind of come back in this direction with that. Okay. I call that good. So let's put in our waves here. This will be fun. So I'm going to use the larger of the Willow's blender, and let me see. I guess I'll just use, I'm going to mix up some kind of greenish yellow here. Yellow and a little bit of the Ultramarine Blue. There we go. And then I've got some of the Phthalo blue teal over here, I think, still. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to just start up here. This coming up over the horizon line right there. Kind of along those edges, I think I'm just going to tap to get those fuzzy edge look. There we go. This is all Storm Surge. Up here and doing all this fuzzy stuff right here. Oops. You might zoom out, honey. I'm too tight here. I'm going off camera. All right, so this is the end of that wave right there. Thank you. Just gonna scrub side to side with this kind of golden yellow color. Grab a little bit of this yellow oxide with some glazing liquid. Glaze over this area right here. And a little bit right here. And then grab that teal. There we go. All right, so now we need to get this area nice and dark down here. So I'm going to grab the Phthalo Blue and Burnt Sienna. Or actually, that was Ultramarine Blue and Burnt Sienna. That'll work too. Grab a little bit of the Phthalo Blue. Burnt Sienna, there we go. I'm going to grab some glazing liquid just to make this go on easier. There we go. I'm going this direction here with this brush strokes. Gonna mimic the wave coming up this way. And then it sort of flattens out right through here a little bit. And this part over here, right under here, kind of curves down. Deepen that up right there. I'm going to grab a little bit of brown. Do a little bit of brown down in there. There we go. All right. And this is sort of the brown mixed with the teal color, burnt umber. This area in here is a little bit more murky brown. But you could keep it more teal if you want to. It's up to you. And then this area is definitely a lot lighter. I'm going to go ahead and glaze a little bit of this dark color just in this corner though. Okay, and then let me get the smaller brush here. I'm going to grab some of this teal and some white. And start making, I might go a little bit darker than that. There we go. So we want it just a little bit lighter than that wave to start with, to put in some shadows in our wave. Curve there. I'm going to get some of the darker color. Tap in that darker shadow right along the bottom of where that wave is cresting. This is our white, bright white. And really, I think this is going to probably need to be toned down a little bit. And we can just dragging this through, creating those lines in the surf, just kind of letting the brush drag in these zigzag lines and create these lines. I have a little bit of the white on there, and it is going to do a really good job of creating these irregular, broken. And this is a lot lighter than it needs to be, but we'll darken it up. We'll glaze over the top of this, so don't worry about it being too dark right now. It's not going to be quite the right color yet. Using the very tip of it to get smaller lines up here closer. It's working. So I think it's working. Looking good. What are you laughing at?
Every time I hear that, I think of...
It's working.
Mm-hmm.
What movie is that from? E.T.?
No.
What?
Star Wars. When Anakin gets that
Ah,
speeder working.
that's
it's
right.
Working.
Yeah, that's right.
I need to pop that up on screen. Little meme.
Every time I say that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And these lines are kind of interconnecting, so this foam is kind of making these little box and round shapes. They're all kind of leading this way, so these lines are kind of diagonally leading up into our wave somewhat. So keep that in mind. Some of them are like these ones are kind of meandering sideways, but a lot of these lines are going to be zigzagging up towards the wave there. That's probably way too much of a line. There, we'll break that up a little bit. I just realized look like stripes. We don't want that to. Okay. It'll help a lot when we glaze this too. Just trying to make sure that I leave some dark pockets in there so that it still has a little bit of movement. Otherwise, it's just going to look like a big white blob on here. So I want to make sure I have some contrast in there. If you need to, you can go back in and add some of the darker color back in. I'll go up in here. I'm going to add a little bit of this yellow oxide. You wash out my brushes here, honey, so they don't get dried in the... Thank you. Okay. Creating some of that darker teal color. A little bit of the glazing liquid. A little bit of that brown even, like right in here. Glazing over the top. Some of these lines. Yeah, that'll work. You can see how it kind of tones them down and makes them sort of look like they're meant to be there. Let's go ahead and use a little bit of this color with the white and continue to add more of our storm surge foam. Nice, thank you, honey. You can even use some zinc white, make it a little bit more transparent like. Yeah, I like the zinc white too. It's leaving a little bit of that translucency in there. This whole area is pretty much all this foam down here. So I'm just going to tap in. And scrub and leave just little bits of lighter color in here and there. Looking good. Okay. And I want to create this zigzag right here so that it kind of comes up like this, comes down, comes back up right here, and then down, gets lost down in here. kind of leads your eye this way. And then I'm going to go back in with this white and add a little bit more. I kind of felt like that whole area was getting a little too dark or a little bit too white, so we added a little bit dark back in there. Now we're going back in with the white and better. Okay. A little glazing liquid there with the white just to kind of reinforce that foam. I'm going to just lightly touch off the top of that wave that's breaking. Add a few really bright whites in our surge here. Lots of paint on the brush, tapping off so that it comes off nice and bright. Really be selective where you're putting these really bright whites though, because they can kind of take over. So, okay. And I think we're still going to glaze over some of this, so it'll tone it down a little bit, even if it might look too white at this point. There is some like along here that are pretty bright. I'm just barely touching down to get that like fuzzy edge right there along the tops of some of those waves. But if you have enough paint on your brush, you can kind of go lightly with it and it'll tap off these little teeny tiny marks. Thank you so much, honey.
You're welcome.
The brush savior. Okay. Come through here and add some brighter white. These are kind of coming up in like points almost. Holding the brush at an angle. Very light touches here to just try to get just the barest little bit touching off there. You gotta have enough on your brush for it to do that, otherwise it won't come off.
So are we considering this painting to be more advanced?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Because it's mostly the clouds, you know. This part is not as hard as, I don't think, as the clouds, but yeah, definitely one of the harder ones. Okay. Looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more detail in here and then let it set, and we'll glaze over some of this and add some splattering.
What?
Looking all right. Let's go ahead and do the glazing on this guy before I do the lighthouse. I'm going to go ahead and grab the angle brush and some of this glazing liquid and some of my yellow, cadmium yellow, just a tiny bit of it, maybe a little bit of the yellow oxide, so it's not super bright. I'm going to start near the sun there. I'm just going to subtle, but it'll really kind of help unify the whole color scheme here. Tone down these clouds that are bright white. And then I'm going to use some of the Zinc White. With some of the yellow. And run streaks. Make sure that when you do this, that the ends of these are not visible. So what I mean is, you don't want a line of yellow starting in invisible in your sun. So you want to make sure that the end here is disappeared into your sun light. And if you can see the end of your yellow, just go in with your white and touch off over the top to blend that in. But you can, it's kind of subtle, but you're seeing kind of these starburst streaks through. Yeah, okay. Right, I think I'm going to call this guy done. It could go a little bit darker as I'm looking at it. I mean, it could go, we could do a little bit more of the yellow oxide down over this part over here. Just through this whole thing. Make it all a little bit more sepia toned, not sure. All right, there we go. Good. So this is dry enough. Let's go ahead and do the same thing over here. Let's grab some of this yellow oxide in my glazing liquid. I'm gonna glaze over. Grab some of the teal mixed with the burnt umber or burnt sienna and phthalo. I'm adding some burnt umber to it. I'm gonna glaze down in here. This is going to create these shadows that we have going on in our wave. This part is kind of catching the light a little bit. All this on this side is dark. And I'm going to go in fairly dark with it. And then let's do a little bit over here too. Not as much because this is mostly in sunlight over here. But there is a little bit of the dark right in that corner. And I'm going to add some of this shadow in our wave. Grabbing that white, and I'm going to use this brush and just glaze some of the white in some of these areas. Kind of create that soften the whole area over here, this foam area. And then we can add in some brighter lines. Little zigzag lines. I'm just using the tip of my brush here to draw in my little shapes. This brush will give us a little bit more defined edges on them. And be a little bit brighter so get to see them against the dark color a bit better. And this is watered down white, so it's not going to cover up our dark areas here. Just adding another layer of brighter highlights into our shadows. Shadow areas. Okay. Pretty close. Marcus like we're never going to get this done because she hasn't even started on the lighthouse. Should do the Lighthouse next month, huh?
6 hours later.
How long have we been going? I might have to.
2 hours, 15 minutes.
Oh, we're fine.
Oh, yeah, you're nowhere near a rose yet.
No. Okay, we're good.
We're going to start measuring time in rose units.
Yeah, exactly.
You're half a rose unit.
I know. People get comments like, oh, I want to do that rose, but I want to watch it beforehand, but 4 hours. Yeah, I feel your pain. I do. But honestly, that one was one of those that I did not notice the time passing. Towards the end, I was getting tired, but, in the middle of it, I just wasn't even noticing. It's one of those that just really was able to kind of zero in. Okay, so here we go. I don't know if you can see that, but I think we're getting pretty close. I'm going to do a little bit more on here, a little bit more highlighting on my splashy splash area. This is like a straight line here, so we're kind of seeing I don't know why, but there's just kind of a straight line right there. Like it's already kind of splashed, or maybe it's splashed against the rocks this way. Maybe it's rolled that way. I don't know. Okay. Because I definitely see a roll this way too, right over here. So I don't know if that's even possible for it to be rolling. Maybe that already just happened. I'm not sure what happened there. Trying to figure out the motion of the ocean. Getting a little bit of glazing liquid with my white and the teal color here. The shadow underneath. I'm gonna wear some of these waves crested. Do one more layer of mixed burnt umber here. One more layer of shadow. In there. A little bit right here. A little bit right there. Grab a little bit of the yellow oxide, mix that with the teal, and do that right in here. Okay, and then use a little bit of the white with this color and just create some little detail down in the sea back here. Just a little bit of white. It's pretty dark. There is some stuff happening back there. Okay?
Go on without me.
You swallow wrong?
Yep.
Alright, zinc white. What?
I was just say it's my drinking problem.
All right. With the bright white here. Pick out a few little spots to add a brighter highlight. Okay, I need to stop because I'm just kind of covering over my under layers here. I think that looks pretty good. I might have to go back in and add more grab the light teal here. Just tap over some of these transition areas between the shadows and the brighter white. To soften up those transitions, but it's looking pretty good, I think. Pretty close to where I want it to be. More teal. Okay, so I'm kind of glazing right here. One last white. Okay. A little bit of white. Let's splatter. Where is my toothbrush? There it is. Use my toothbrush here. Grab some of this. Let's go ahead and use a little bit of the zinc white with the white. And I'm using the toothbrush because it'll make smaller lines for me, smaller dots than the fan brush. And just point it straight down where I want that spray to happen. Can you see that? Very tiny spray. You just can't get it this small with the fan brush. Okay. So almost there now. Let's go ahead and start on our lighthouse. Let's draw it up. I gotta get what?
Dave said, "Oh my God." He's been patiently waiting for 2.5 hours.
For the lighthouse part. Like,
No,
finally.
No, for the splatter.
Oh, for the splatter. That's awesome. Okay, so I noticed on here when I was looking at it that this to this is equal to this. So if I go from that line to there is about equal. So I'm just trying to kind of make sure that I have that room. I want it to end right about there. And I want a straight line through to this center part. I want it centered, obviously, in here. So I'm going to come out a little bit on either side. And this is pretty much split into 3 parts almost. So the width of the lighthouse is about 1/3 of the width of the entire thing here. Comes up at a little bit of an angle. So let me go ahead and figure out where that's about right there. Right there is the bottom of the top piece. And this is going to be curved line. This is going to come up at an angle a little bit into that. And I will have a traceable for this. And then this door is in here. This one is right here, curved. And there's a little railing or something down low. And then there is a set of lines right here. Another set of windows, another set of lines, and another set of lines. Lines, and these lines are curved too. They're more curved at the top because of the way we're looking at it. We're looking up at this. So as they go to the top, this curve is getting a little bit more exaggerated each time. So right down here, it's a very subtle curve, and this is very subtle. Here, all three of these are very subtle. And then these are a little bit more curved. This is a little bit more curved here. And then this line is curves and curls under. Like that. Like that. And then we're going to continue this line up. So just pretend like that railing's not there. Going to continue up. Narrowing. This line is quite curved. Right here. Even more than this one. And then the top of the lighthouse sets in just a little bit, and then the roof of it is, there's a very small gap here, and you're seeing this curve of the inside of it, and then you're seeing the outside curve like that. It comes out just a little bit on either side. Right there, and then the rounded cap dome. There, and then just bring your antenna down to the middle part. There we go. So there's our basic lighthouse shape. I think we got it straight. Hopefully it's not tilted. Looks okay. Let me make sure, because I want to check that. I've done that before and it's not been straight. Okay, so we got it pretty straight. First try. Good job. That's a miracle, isn't it? Okay, and then let me go ahead. I'm just going to put in the main colors first, and then we'll put in the details as we go. So the main color, it's kind of a light gray. So I thought we would use our ultramarine blue and brown mixture, since that's kind of what we've got going on in here anyways. I think it'll be good. It'll unify the whole thing. I don't know if I'm happy with that. We'll see. I feel like it's too bright. Just gonna put out fresh paint so that I don't have to fight the put out some burnt sienna. Oh, how you doing, hun? You hanging in there?
I'm doing good.
Makes for a long weekend when we do these weekend shows back to back like this.
It's okay, though.
Yeah.
Just what do you say? Thank you to all the amazing supporters out there.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I can give up a few hours of my time.
Of your video gaming?
Well, now that you put it that way. Oh, would you hurry up?
I'm going to do what I did with the sky over here and use the yellow to just lightly dust over some of this. And yellow it out a little bit. Unify it. Okay. So I think I'm going to use the angle brush here for some of this. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to mix up some burnt umber and ultramarine. Get a gray. And I'm not pressing down too hard here. You can see that since I've got a small thing here, I don't want to press down too hard, otherwise I'll get it all gummed up inside there. So I'm just using the top of the bristle. Somebody was asking about mixing paint, how to keep it from getting gummed up. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just kind of trying not to press down too hard and just using the very tips of the brush to blend. Oh, we definitely need more white. Okay. I think this should come together pretty quickly, though. I don't know. We'll see. Famous last words. I'm going in. Wish me luck.
All right. I think I'm going to go put the bread in the oven.
Okay, do it. Mix some white with that.
Stay on camera.
I will, as long as you keep me zoomed out. Try to leave a little indication there where that stripe's supposed to go. And then use some of the lighter color on this side. There's a shadow that's crossing over. A little bit darker color on this side. Use some of this white here. Just gonna put in that highlight section on it. And you really could simplify this if you wanted to, just by leaving out some of these doors and windows and things that are going to make it more complicated. Or just maybe put 1 or 2 doors instead of, you know, the 8 or whatever it is that we're going to have. Okay. There we go. Okay, and then let's use the unbleached titanium with the yellow oxide mixed with that gray for the underside. I really need a smaller brush for this. It's not working very well. There we go. This color's also up here. And then the inside is dark gray. So making this oval inside this, the boundaries of this outer rim. I don't want to go any farther than that with it. All right, definitely need to switch to a smaller brush. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the yeah, let's use the number 1 round. Grab some of that kind of darker gray that was on here. And do our little supports. Not sure what that is. There's something there. Let's use this to put in our antenna. You can use a thinner brush if you need to for that. A little dot on top. Then we'll use this dark gray for the roof. You're making me hungry with all that talk about bread and stuff, honey. He's not listening to me.
I'm listening to you.
You are?
I'm reading the great comments everybody's putting in the chat.
What kind of comments?
Okay, you asked for it. God, Angela doesn't know how to paint. I don't know why I'm in this group. Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine. You don't have to read. It's good. I'm good.
No, somebody had somebody had a heart issue and
Oh,
said
wow.
that so you and I are their lifesavers.
Oh, my goodness.
Immensely grateful to them both and all you guys.
Oh, my God. Wow.
And then another says, I would have quit painting by now if it wasn't for Mark and Angela and everyone. And that would have been a bummer. I agree. Finding them was one of the best things that happened to me. Really cheered me up and challenged me.
That's awesome.
Somebody's son is giving their husband a surprise birthday party,
Oh, fun.
retirement party. I don't know if we had anything to do with that, but I want to say that we motivated him to do that.
I don't think so, honey.
No? Okay.
That's awesome. A retirement party. Hopefully that'll be you, but then soon. We'll see. We'll see. Get a few more patrons and Mark can quit and help me full time here. Be awesome. That would never have even been an option if it weren't for our Patreon folks. That's for sure.
Very, very true.
It's exciting to think about what the next few years will bring. I get to keep painting, hopefully. Okay, just needed to darken that up a little bit there. So I did the lighter gray kind of closer here. I'm going to get some white. Use some of that cream with the white. Right in here. This side is getting a little bit more of that bright sunlight hitting it, so I'm going to highlight a couple of those.
Just think, in a few hundred years, somebody's going to be searching for your paintings on Oak Island.
Why did we bury them again? I can't remember. That's what I was telling Mark. I was like,
them from everybody.
Why would anybody do that and then not have a way to get the stuff back? Like, why wouldn't you just dump it in the ocean? Like, why go through this elaborate thing of burying it if you didn't ever want anybody to find it again? It doesn't make any sense to me. But it's just me. I think I was too rational to be a pirate. I'll stick to painting.
I wonder how well your paintings would do buried underground.
Probably not very well.
Probably not.
No, they probably wouldn't last very long.
But I'm sure they'll tie it to the
It has to do with the Mayans and
to
Romans.
the Knights Templar somehow.
And the Knights Templar.
This lighthouse.
Right. It's all tied up together. Okay. So I'm trying to make sense of this here. Just make sure that
Yeah, when I posted a picture of this in the Thankful Art Facebook group, I altered the picture slightly.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Did you add Stickman to the top?
Yeah, he's in the lighthouse, so
nice.
Can you add that here?
Where is he?
He's just in the windows.
Right here. Stickman up there. I'm tempted. Yeah, I put a little shadow at the top there so that those posts look like they were attached because they were kind of floating. All right. Now I'm going to put I'm trying to decide how far down I want to go with this. This is the window here. There's a shadow on this side of it. And then this window is kind of lined up with this. This one's sort of lined up with this one, I think. It's a little bit off center from this. Rounded. And you're not seeing the other side of this one, really. You're seeing the inside of it right here. But you're not seeing the outside of it. So we can paint in the inside. Just inside of it right there. And then I'm going to use this really dark interior. Fill it in. And I really, if I was being efficient about this, I would do all the windows at the same time, but I'm just working my way from the top down, so. Let me go a little bit wider with this, a little bit bigger, looks like. There we go. Very much little tiny bit showing on this one, much more on this side. Let's grab some of that kind of darker gray color. Add a little bit of that lighter color to it. And we'll do the top of the rail here. And it'll be white along this edge. Right there. And then as it comes around, it's getting darker. And this side is dark. Make some more of that trim color there. Got a little bit of gray in it, mostly yellow oxide and white. Is that Cashmere making that noise? She's like snoring. You think so?
I don't think so.
Is it you snoring?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, doing a little dark gray here. I'm going to come up underneath this, make sure that this curve matches the curve above. Okay, and then the little, there's a lot of detail in this thing. Little support beams are coming out like this. And then we're only seeing the front side of them here. And then we're seeing them right there, like that. See that noise right there? Did you hear it?
No.
No? Okay. Are you messing with me?
No, I'm not, but I was typing, so
Okay.
I'll listen for the mysterious noises.
Okay. It's all right.
She's sleeping underneath my feet here.
I think it's her snoring that I'm hearing. Okay, so I want to make sure that this curve at the end of these supports is, so I want these to line up with this imaginary curve at the bottom of this. So there is a line that goes right through here. We can do that. That'll help. And let's do another one right below. Then let's do these ones up here that we haven't done yet. There's one right here. And the one right here. And they go outside the edge of the lighthouse just a little bit. So they skim the outside there just a little bit. And then we're going to use the dark shadow there. Shadow up underneath each one of those. And like I said, we could make this a lot less detailed if we wanted to and just kind of indicate, but we kind of have gone full realism on the rest of this, so I feel like we need to give this one the attention it deserves. Bring that darker gray right there through. Grab some white, mix that with this cream color here. Here's a highlight right there. And this is outlined here. And I'm using this number 1 round still. You could switch to the smaller brush if you want to at this point for doing these smaller details. Cross, cross. And I'm going to outline this just a little bit so you can see it against that sky a little bit better. This curves around right here. So this comes straight down right there. And this curves around to the bottom. Okay, let's use some of this darker color here to kind of make a little mark at the top of each of these little pylons here. Okay. This is going up too far right here. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit. No, that's scary. It's really... There we go. I'm just trying to get this angle right here. Okay, I think that looks closer. And then there are these railings that come up. Right here. And you can see the top of it. It curves. Follows that same curve. Across there. And then curls under. And you're seeing it go back down here. There we go. Do gray here so I can see it better. There we go. Keep it really small. And just making sure that this line here and this line here are about equal. And going straight up and down. Fix that top there. Because it's actually going to be doing this circle thing, kind of like what this did here. So it's going to get shorter as it gets closer to the edge there. There and there. Okay. Phew. And then let's put the bright highlight back up on that thing right there. And put our highlights on the roof. I left a little stripies. I don't know if you noticed that when I did it before. When I put my second coat on there, I added little stripes. Just add a little cap there. And I'm going to flatten that out and just use really bright white to put a couple little highlights there. Okay. So I feel like this is okay. I think because it's switching from light to dark, it's kind of throwing an optical illusion, making it look like it's off center when it's not. I think it's pretty close. Let's bring these up a little bit. Again. Okay, this is going to be the hardest part right there. That whole thing right there. That is definitely the hardest part. Everything else from here on out should be pretty easy. I'm going to do the light gray here. And then let's put in our stripes. Make sure that this is dark underneath our stripe here. And then we're going to leave a little space. There's going to be window, 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 right here, and right here, and then stripey there. And then this one's split in half right here. Curved, but not quite as much. All right. Grab the white and get some of this cream color here. Go right in here and do our stripes. And two, I'm just going just on top of that dark line. This one has 3, so let's do 1, 2, 3. I'll have to put in a little bit more dark line under that one. Just glazing here a little bit with that dark color. Adding the shadow on this side of the lighthouse. Okay. Let's use the... And this is what I'm talking about by simplifying. Like if we did the whole thing kind of sketchy like this, it would be a little bit easier. You could kind of just do little dabs. Sometimes it's almost harder to do simplify though and make it look good. So it's just easier for me to... There. And then another one right here. What Spencer want?
You want to go get Firehouse subs?
Oh.
I told him we were making dinner.
Ah. What are we having? Bread.
Bread.
That's the plan.
Yep.
Okay.
You bought that chicken pasta artichoke stuff.
Oh, yeah. Chicken linguine. That'll be good with bread. So this is kind of a half moon or a half. And you just kind of follow that line of that curve, so you don't want to go any higher than that. This side is going to be a little bit lower than the other side, and you're not going to see the full curve. It'll be cut off right here a little bit. Okay. Some of the white here, the gray cream color. Outline. These ones are easy because they're pretty straightforward. It's just making sure you keep the edges small, about the same size. And this side, there's a very thin line over here. This is the edge. It comes around, it's actually outside of that line just a little bit. What are you laughing at? Kitties.
Cat number 2 has entered the octagon.
Oh no. Oliver's got the weirdest meow of every cat. We call him Bill the Cat. He's got that Bill the Cat. If you ever watched, or what are those cartoons that we used to...
Bloom County.
Bloom County. Yeah. He like, ack. That's his meow. Ack. It's about as good as it gets.
Neither of our cats know how to cat.
No, they don't. Neither one are good cats. Cat. There. Well, Oliver kills the birds, but he's not a good lap kitty, that's for sure. Not that killing the birds is a good thing.
No, it's all the mice and moles
Yeah.
that want to get into our house.
This is white. Yeah, he definitely pays his rent in mice. Yeah, I feel like that curve is a little too much, maybe. I don't know, I might have gotten a little overzealous with that. It's looking all right, though. It's all right. Okay. Grabbing some white here. I'm going to just highlight this side of the thing just a little bit more. It has this This is just watered down paint here. Is anybody still watching us? Are we? Did we lose them all?
There's 61 watching right now.
Good. We only lost half of them. Not quite
Then we
half.
topped out at 76.
Okay. Good.
I think about 48 of them are sleeping.
Well, we've
But,
given them a couple of
we'll
videos
wake them
this
up.
weekend.
We'll wake them up before we finish.
Okay. All right. Let's do our little cross pieces here. Trying to get these vertical. These ones are going to be over here. And grab some gray. There's like a little gray interior there. There's a little bit of it right here. Get a little bit of that dark and put a little dark shadow underneath each one of those. Get more of that white. There we go. Then we can go back in with bright white and just add a little highlights on the ones where we want a little bit more color. A little bit more highlight. And then it just really needs to come out just a little bit. There, like that. Cashmere, you're a mess. You're over there flirting. Is she flirting with you or Oliver? Okay. Let's do our little stripey along the bottom here. And there's something in the window, but I'm not going to mess with that. If you wanted to, you can. Let's put a shadow on this side of the window sills where the sun's shadowing it. There we go. Think if there's anything else. And then we could shadow on the inside of the windows too. Right up here where those cross pieces hit. Be shadowed. So just a little bit of watered down paint here. There we go. I need to bring this one up here. It's not matching this other one. Do you see anything that I've missed? There's so much detail in this. I feel like I'm going to miss something. You know, there's just so much to catch. Let me reinforce this shadow on this. Glaze some of this dark gray over.
There seems to be some like sunspots in that left hand.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Sunspots. There we go. Yep. Yes, I did mean to do that.
And I guess on the right hand side too.
Yeah, they're all over.
And in the picture I'm looking at, there's a YouTube play button right in the middle. Kind of bottom right of the sun.
I think that's the live stream, honey.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
All right. Yeah, I feel like I could go a little bit darker now that this is dried. I'm going to use some of this gray here, and I'm just going to shadow in some of these areas in here. Just go really dark. Just a few little spots. And kind of blend it out so it's not like a big black blob in the middle of nowhere, but that'll help pump up that contrast to give it more drama.
Okay, so if you were to sell this,
Yeah.
what would you sell it for?
This size painting I usually sell for about $250, I think.
Oh wow, that was high.
Well, no, yeah, because the 8x10s are about 200, so this one is a little bit smaller, or a little bit bigger, so. But it's been a while since I've priced my paintings, so I haven't been selling them.
I said 4.
400. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. we don't get a lot, very high prices for art in Arkansas. There, you have to be really real no name to get those kind of prices for your art here. Okay, so yeah, I think that's better. I like the contrast a little bit better. I'm going to use that white and go back in and just do some very fine lines in here with the tip of my brush. And we've already got all of this other stuff going on, so it's just gonna, all these layers you're gonna be able to see through. It's really gonna lot going on. Going in with some bright white just in a couple spots here. It really contrasts with that dark that we put in there. Adding some yellow oxide to this ultramarine blue gray mixture here. Yeah, we really ought to like auction them off after the videos. It would be smart if we just. There's one YouTuber that I watch, Bailey B, but she does like marker art, and she has her, you know, every time she does something new, she puts it up on her website immediately for sale, and so hopefully we'll get there eventually. That's my goal, kind of, you know, to have it to where eventually we'll have our art up for sale after the shows for those who are interested. But I think most people watching are wanting to sell it themselves. They're not wanting to buy art necessarily. They're wanting, you know, they're watching to do it themselves. So. And some bright whites here, just a few little spots. What that does is like raise up these areas, so we have like these levels of, anytime you're adding this bright white, it's gonna raise it up a little bit. Right. Oh, the shadows on the top here too. I need to put some darker shadows up here on the lighthouse. In here. Yeah. All right, what do you think? Are we done? Oh, you said sunspots. Okay, so if you want to do sunspots, we can just use the little pouncer for that. And I'll use the Zinc White. Maybe some glazing. Glazing liquid. And they're actually kind of octagon looking ones, which I really can't replicate unless you did a stencil of some sort.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if it really adds a whole lot. Well, I don't know. It kind of does add that kind of sea spray look.
You don't have to. This is your painting, so.
No, I know. Well, I kind of like it. I mean, I liked that part of it. I just don't want to. I'm afraid. I don't want to ruin it.
I say leave it then. Just leave it be. It's awesome as it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it really adds a whole lot to it, so I'm going to... Oh, but that's how you do it, though, if you want to. Just go through and...
No, I think it's great without it.
Okay.
It's like you're looking at it with the naked eye.
Right. All right, I think that's good. I'm going to call that quits. I'm going to sign it. Thanks, guys, for watching with us today. Super chat. What? That's not super. You can't do super chats on these.
I just wanted to turn on the disco lights.
Crazy.
Just to celebrate, say thank you to everybody who has just shown some awesome support for you, honey.
Yes, y'all are amazing. You really are. It's
Yeah.
I hope we say it enough. How much we appreciate you guys, because it is amazing. Every time somebody new comes to Patreon, we're like, what?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a little celebration. We're just like, unbelievable.
We're humbled that we can be part of your lives.
Yes, we really are. It's amazing. I wish I had the time to sit down and have coffee or tea, really tea with
Yeah, you're more of a tea
all
person.
Of y'all. Get to know you. But at least we can do these shows and Mark gets to chat and get to know you guys at least somewhat.
Yeah.
Which is nice. All right, there we go. Sign it. That brush was a little clumsy there. It's a little bit big for it, but it worked out. I'm going to clear. Smooth that out just a little bit right there. All righty, there we go. Lighthouse. Whew, that was good. How long did that one take? 2, 3.5? Almost 4 hours? Is that right? Yeah.
3 hours, 37 minutes.
Yes.
Not bad.
Nope, not bad. Not bad for this much detail, for sure. So, and really, you could leave off any parts of it or, simplify. Like I said, if you kind of just leave out this bottom part here was probably the hardest part of this. So if you just kind of did the railing and the stripy stuff on here, or even leave out the windows if you wanted to. There's a lot of different ways of simplifying. You could check out the other Lighthouse that I did a couple of years ago and do something similar to that was very, very simplified. So lots of ways to make it a little easier if you don't want to feel like this one's intimidating, which I totally understand. I'm going to, now that I'm looking at this, I'm going to splatter one more time because I'm seeing these
bonus splatters.
Sorry, Dave. Hope you didn't leave yet.
Oh yeah, that brings back the lights for bonus splatters.
Well, I'm just seeing that they dried pretty light, so I'm gonna do one more layer of the bright white splatters here. There we go. Okay. Good enough. All right, guys, we'll see you on Tuesday. We're going to be starting on our 12
flowers, monthly flower.
Month of flower of the month series.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. 5-inch Carnation.
So
Canvas.
this Tuesday is Flower of the Month, and then following Tuesday is Tank of the Month? No? All right.
No. Sorry, hon. Good try. All right, guys. See you next time. Thanks. Bye.